Hi, I'm Laura Calder. This is my husband Peter, who you know as well as me now. We're here answering questions from newsletter readers. If you would like the newsletter, you can subscribe on lauracalder.com and you'll get the next month. And while you're at it, you can also subscribe to these videos by clicking somewhere down around here.
Well, welcome back to Underneath the Tree of Knowledge.
Oh, no snakes, no apples, no Eve. We're
It's a
safe.
chestnut, I think. So we're...
So let's go.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
All right, this question comes from Laura Calder.
Me! Because I want to get one in here.
And the question is, which variety of herbs do you plant in the garden at your home?
I got some herbs to plant, basil, mint, blah, blah, blah. And someone gave me a mint as well, but it's a furry mint. And I don't like the mammalian mint to eat. So what's the one you plant to eat? Is it French mint? And also you got a weird basil, which is pale leafed and not normal.
Yeah, lemon basil or something like that.
Yeah, all those weird. Also, there's a strange thyme over there in the far corner, and it's not the thyme that I want. So, for all these herbs, the generic sort of ones that have varieties, which are the choice ones to plant? So I'm asking, and you could answer in the comments, and I hope you don't mind that I put one of my own questions in, but I need to know.
Just for the record, we planted better basil, we planted cilantro, we planted some
Rosemary.
flatleaf parsley,
Yeah, chives.
a strange amount of curly leaf parsley,
That was an accident.
an accident.
And what's really good to do with curly leaf parsley? Actually, I didn't plant it, but someone came along and planted 9 of them. I have now removed 5 and replaced with flat leaf, but all that curly leaf, is that just tabbouleh till the cows come home, or any tips? Welcome.
All right. Let's give one of your readers a chance now. to
Yeah,
weigh in.
you can get a word in now.
Angela McDougall is confounded by her glass stovetop.
She wanted to know how to clean it, and she said she can't get the temperature to work.
Well, cleaning them is a chore, right? You have to buy this white
Special product.
liquid that you squirt on it and then apply a ton of elbow grease with a scouring pad until all the grease
And nothing else works for glass stovetops.
It takes a lot of time and effort to do, and it works. So you get a very nice, shiny, clean top.
I don't like those glass stovetops because I always find you can't tell if it's on or off, for one thing, can you?
Well, you can. Yeah.
No, because
this-
remember we had one once and I broke a plate by setting it on this, what looks like a nice even surface, and the next thing I know, a china plate from your father, by the way.
I'm not sure that was
Cracked.
the stove's fault. Because most of them have a little red light on the stovetop beside the burner that's on or even hot.
Really?
Yes, they do.
I have friends who have a stovetop, but the silly thing about the stovetop is that the burners are all so close together that though there may be 6 of them or whatever, you can only actually fit about 2 pots on at once, so it's a ridiculous design. And a lot of stoves are really cheap. When you buy them, they stink up the whole house because they're full of fumes. This is not very helpful, is it? Where do you get a good stove without spending the amount of you'd spend on a house?
I don't know.
Who has a great stove? Who has a stove and oven that they love, and why?
And
Tell us so we don't buy the bad ones.
And it isn't gas, because gas stoves are just the best.
Anyway, tips on stoves, and I know the ones that cost, a lot of money are great, but what about just your average stove? Next.
Upcycled Copycat is the name of this question.
That's for you.
Well, he wants to know how we make those kimchi tuna melts.
Peter makes the kimchi tuna melts.
Right, you take any kind of bread that you like. You take a can of tuna and you mix some mayonnaise in and maybe an onion. You toast the bread at first, and then you put the tuna salad, and then you put a layer of kimchi. Just any kimchi. I mean, grocery store kimchi or very high quality kimchi bought from a Korean store. It depends on how spicy you like it. Kimchi is this pickled cabbage from Korea, right?
Right.
And it just adds this piquancy.
And then you put the fromage.
Oh, don't forget. And then you on top of that, you put the orange cheese, and you melt that under the broiler, and you get this. It's just
so good. It sounds so
tuna melt.
silly, but it's so good.
It's a tuna melt given a real boost by a real spicy flavor, and it's delicious. Yeah, do it. Do
the tuna melt, kimchi.
Okay, now we come to today's controversial question.
I love the controversial questions, by the way. This is right up there with the dog question from last week.
Dina Honk says, what is your take on dinner music? I think she's referring to at home, right?
I'll cover both.
Because restaurants as well. Okay, what's your take on dinner music in restaurants, Laura?
My take on music in restaurants is take me out of there. I cannot stand it. I'm just going to be frank and say the truth. I hate music in restaurants. The H word, I used it. I can't stand it. And it's so loud, and half the time I don't like the music anyway, but when you can't even hear the person trying to take your order, it makes me crazy. And I think you need an environment when you're eating that's calm, where you can have conversation, where you can focus on the food and what you're doing. Don't need that distraction. And by the way, if you will go to the website of L'Express restaurant in Montreal, they have Une Minute à l'Express or something. There's one little place you can click and all you hear is the restaurant, which by the way is quite loud, but it's that marvelous sound of people laughing and things being served and clinking plates, and that's the only music you need in a restaurant, if you ask me. But please go ahead and have another opinion.
Well,
No, kidding.
I don't mind quiet music in the background in a restaurant. I don't mind if it's in the background. But there are restaurants nowadays that, for a younger crowd than us, they want a sort of a booming soundtrack to their meal. It just doesn't suit me. It doesn't suit me, but I don't mind music in restaurants.
People pay a lot of attention to decor, and they don't think about things like sound and light. Anyway, but I think she's talking about at home. I also don't play music at dinner at home.
Yes,
actually.
we do.
We've put it before, but not during. If it's on, it is so low you don't know it's there, and if it's so low you don't know it's there, then what is the point?
But he also says, what do you play and what do you suggest? So I have some suggestions about that. If you buy streaming music services now, like Spotify, they prepare fantastic playlists for you, and you'll even learn something from listening to them. Like, a lot of them have this gimmick where they call it so-and-so radio. So you say,
Oh yeah.
you punch in Frank Sinatra, or you punch in the Rolling Stones, or you punch in Moxie Fruvis. No, don't do that. And you select Frank Sinatra radio. They'll play a selection of music.
Yeah, Carla Bruni radio.
So it's music. It's based on, it's the same genre and the same style, maybe the same era, or people who are inspired by Frank Sinatra, or people who inspired Frank Sinatra, and then you get this constant stream of really interesting music playing.
Yeah,
and it goes forever. It goes just as long as it's on. It plays.
I also really like, depending on the guest list, I love 1940s music, 30s, 40s, sort of, doot doot. Cheers people up. But you got to be careful because some stuff can be really depressing or too formal, but I mean, whether to play music or not is up to people. But the environment where it's boom, boom, boom.
There's a lot of
robs me of my appetite.
Like I said, we're old.
We're old. What are you going to do with us? Chuck us in the bin. Oh well. You look quite spiffy though.
That's what you new dress.
So, new dress.
Yeah.
You like it? Anyway, here we are under the tree. Please send your questions. Either put them below or write to lauracalder.com and we will answer. And if you don't write them, I'm going to ask more. And then you'll have to answer. Bye.
Thanks for coming. Bye.